Chrissy, thanks for taking the
Hey,
time to join us today. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling all right.
Perfect. You got to watch everything back last night. How are you feeling this morning?
It was interesting to watch. There was a lot of shit I didn't realize was happening, like, you know, a lot of shit.
Now, what people didn't know is we found out today because they released a new scene is that you were actually hunting for an idol with Kyle, and you had talked to him a bit about what to do to possibly get through this tribal. Explain to us how that all went for you and what the discussions with Kyle were like.
Yeah, Kyle's a game player, man. As soon as we got back, like he literally had sand all in his eye, and he didn't have me flush it until after. He was like, Chrissy, we're going. He says in the thing that he wanted to go by himself, but I don't remember it that way. I remember him saying, we're going to search for idols. And I was like, all right, let's do it. And I think we searched for a good 45. I don't know, there's no time, but it was a long time till we finally had to go and like wipe the sand off because they'd be like, why do you still have sand on you? Because we never even wiped sand off. We went searching immediately.
Now, you tried to find a crack in that alliance. Tell us a bit about how hard that was. And you seem to be really trying to rally people at the end to get them behind you and turn, kind of the focus of the game. How frustrating was that to work through that and try to get people on your side?
Very frustrating. Well, if you look at the numbers, we had five SIVA. We had five
Oh,
SIVA. There was 10 people. Star lost her vote. So there's 9 votes. We had the numbers. If we would have stayed SIVA strong, and I get it. I know when we switched tribes that second time, people formed other bonds, and I saw that happen. But and even not Camilla and Kyle were pretty upfront with me. They said they were still willing to work with the Siva Four, but they also said they were working with Joe and Eva. They literally told me they were going to work the middle and try to like get that alliance. This is what they told me, that they were going to try to get them comfortable, but then in the end, the Siva Four would come and bam, get them.
yeah.
So in my eyes, we had 5 SIVA, they had 4. This was the perfect time to try to go at that point. David in my and who knows, but David was lost. David wanted to go strong 5. So that sort of blew. And so that made Camilla and Kyle have to swing that way too. So I knew at that point when I was sobbing. They don't show it, but I was sobbing to David at the water well, begging him to stay Siva strong and not go the other way because he had a better chance to win the million with us than them. And I could just see in his eyes that I had lost him.
Do you think he was the turning point in not the game switching over to Siva Strong?
I think we discuss it. David disagrees to this day that he
Right.
says that Camilla and Kyle had already switched.
Yeah.
I think Camilla and Kyle were playing the middle. I think they were playing the middle smart, and with him not being 100% going our way, they had to go Joe, Eva, Shaheen way.
Now you mentioned a little bit about some of the stuff that was going on behind your back. You were able to see the entire picture now, well, at least as much as the edit shows. What surprised you the most about some of the things you saw?
Well, it, Kyle throwing my name out there to save Camilla, I was like, damn. I don't blame him either. I like
Right.
text him right away. I'm like, I love you. There's no hard feelings. But I wish if David wanted Camilla out so bad, I don't understand why David didn't tell me that because I would have my answers at tribal would have been different. I wouldn't have went out with such a bang. I would have had a shot at least to sort of try to put it on Camilla like she was, could put it on me. It would have been a fight, but
Right.
I didn't know that was happening. So
Right. Now on the show, I mean, it makes it seem like Camilla and Kyle have this secret alliance that nobody's even suspects they're working together. Was that what it was like out there, or did you have a sneaky feeling that they were together?
well, I knew they were working together because we
Right.
were we were doing the Siva thing.
Right.
I didn't know they were that tight, like how tight they got. But yeah, I knew they were definitely working together it was so funny because it was almost the opposite of Joe and Eva. Joe and Eva were so blatantly working together, and then
Yeah.
Kyle Camilla were doing it under the blanket. So that was two total opposite pairings.
Yeah. Now, at Tribal Council, we saw your fiery speech. You were not willing to go out quietly. Did you, when you were going through, what was your plan going into Tribal? And did you fear that anything you said would have come back to haunt you?
I knew going in it was me. I knew. I heard nobody was talking to me. I tried to talk to Joe. He wouldn't even look at me. I was like, yeah. It was. I knew I was a goner. So going in, apparently I don't know how to answer questions. Like I maybe if I should have practiced this a little with friends or something, but when Jeff asked me a question, like I brutally honestly answered a question to where it gets me in trouble, where other people learn how to skip around the answer and say this and that. And apparently I'm just like "Bleh." And I did it every single council I was at, and I was like, shit, that's the way I am, I guess. Oh my God, my computer's going dead. Okay, go ahead. I got 5% on my computer.
Now, I talked to Cedric, and when he talked about voting out Bianca, he said he spoke to you kind of at the last minute and threw it out to you because your vote was a surprise to a lot of people. Give us a little bit about how that came to be and how you ended up voting her out.
I was Bianca all day long. They edited it different to make it look different. In my eyes, sending Bianca back to that beach during a merge to go back to Joe and Eva and all those guys would have been stupid. So even though Say was getting on my nerves to no end, I really wanted Bianca out. So she was the vote for me. Getting Cedric didn't want to go Say anyway. So they don't show me and Cedric sort of bonding a lot and thinking Bianca the whole time. Mitch wanted Say because she was driving everybody crazy, and I couldn't reel him in. But he sort of gave me a head nod at the end there, and I knew that he was going to go Bianca. So
Right.
it worked out.
Now, as far as we see on the show, I mean, here you are. You got Mitch floating around, and you're trying to break into that thing. Ex Again, we don't get to see everything. I'm sure you had other strong relationships with other people besides Mitch. I mean, he wasn't your only parachute going through, was he?
Well, when we repicked tribes, I should say stuck, but I got stuck with Say, Cedric, Bianca. Those three all got voted out. So
Right.
so Mitch is the only one that I was with in that we formed a bond with, while everybody else was forming these really strong bonds. I'm watching them talk about their families and crises and stuff. I mean, that shit that really bonds you.
Yeah.
So now I'm going into the merge, and you got all these strong people that bonded so deeply. And it literally was just me and Mitch at that point because everybody else got voted out. So I was sort of at a disadvantage.
Now, I ask this of every survivor that I've interviewed because, again, we only ever get to see a very small portion of your journey. Is there anything like, was there a bonding moment, a strategic moment? Maybe it was just how you played the game. What are some of the things that you wish viewers were able to see about your journey? Because, again, we really didn't see you kind of move into the forefront until like the last few episodes.
No, I read on, and I don't read social media. I don't look at,
Right.
somebody said I had a purple edit, and I was like, Googled purple edit. I'm like, what's purple edit? And it was like, you are non-existent. I'm like, damn. I totally got the purple edit, which is fine. I don't care.
Right.
No, you know what? They showed what they showed. Obviously, if people don't realize that so much more happened, like crazy bonds. Like me and Camilla, like I was Camilla's biggest cheerleader. Like I love
Uh,
Camilla. I think she is an awesome person and well, it's so understated and but they don't show that her and I even talk. So
what do you wish? Well, else stuff that they would have shown, especially because again, I assume you weren't just standing there like a palm tree. You were working the game. What are some of the things that you wish they would have shown as far as that's concerned?
well, yeah, they don't show the converse like me crying to David, like me begging to David. I thought that would have been great. I can't believe they didn't show that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the four of us still, conniving a little. They don't really show the Steve, but David, I don't know. It's so crazy how many different moves there are. It's insane how many different directions. I wish they show Joe and Eva running the game because that's what's going on right now. Like literally, I look at it now and Joe seems like he's the godfather and everybody's got to come to Joe and he says, let me think about what's going on. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
Crazy.
that alliance was pretty impenetrable, wasn't it? I mean, you tried to get through to them, but are there any cracks that you saw at the time?
Not between them. No,
Yeah.
hell no, no way. They don't even show it on the beach when we voted out. Joe says to me, "You're not voting out Eva tonight, are you?" Like mean. I was like scared of him. I'm like, no, no, I'm not voting out Eva. Like he really was protecting her big time. And there was one point I asked Eva, "Who are you voting for?" And she goes, "Whoever Joe's voting for." And I was like, "You fucking kidding me?" Like it was so obvious, you know.
Right. So, from the edit, would you say we're getting a good depiction, an accurate depiction of Joe, or was he more, was his game a lot more stronger and forceful than we're seeing?
Well, I only got to work with him a couple days because then I left, and it's
Right.
all your own perception. Like
Right.
I saw Joe laughing and telling jokes with the whole gorilla, how he could take a gorilla down. I was fucking dying. I wasn't there for that, and that just endeared me to him. So I didn't see that side of Joe. I
Right.
only saw the side I saw, and you're
Right.
talking 2 weeks no sleep, 2 weeks no eating. You know, fighting for your life here to try to get in, and so maybe my perception of Joe is off. You know, and I really think I have PTSD of working on the fire department with firemen,
Right.
like
Right.
strong firemen. I always had to battle against strong firemen to prove myself. And now here I'm working against a strong fireman. So I never really think I gave Joe a benefit of the doubt because of my own stuff in
Right.
my own head, you know?
Right. You always have to put in double the work when you're in that situation. Obviously, you can't tell us who you voted for, and I'm not going to ask that. But when you were deciding on some of the qualities or things you were looking for in a winner, what were some of the things that went through your head as you were coming to that conclusion? What were some of the things you were thinking about?
Well, I had said that last tribal that I want somebody that's going to make moves and not just,
Right.
you know, like with Joe and Eva. I'm like, if you two play the same game, how do I choose who gets the $1 million if
Right.
you're playing the same game?
Right.
Like one of you is going to have to make a move, you know. And
Right.
they just were like, whatever, we're tight, you know. So in my mind, making some moves and not just relying on that one alliance, which is great. What a great way to get to the end, but you're going to have to separate yourself at some point.
Exactly. Well, Chrissy, thanks so much for talking to us today. All the best of luck in the future, and we can't wait to see you on the finale.
Thank you. Thank you.